And welcome back to the LPL for Week 8, day number 3. Today is about bridging as we welcome you to the Chengdu Arena. Bridging for the teams heading towards playoffs to get some of those crucial matches under their belt. There's going to be no exception with FPX starting us off. Hello and welcome back to the desk. My name's Jake Pyke, joined by Brento, Raz Mohammed, and Raz. Good to have you back here after today is just going to power on forward.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've been having better and better games. Yesterday's games were fun, too. I felt like, you know, being able to see BLG versus Team WE, as fiery as those team fights are, you could see BLG are, in my mind, playoff ready.
Yes.
They're a team that, you know, led by Kuro, is only getting stronger as a squad, which makes you only want to tune into the rest of the weeks coming forward as we are
starting to cement it forward. Week 8, we got 3 weeks left to go.
Yep.
Remember, 11-week split here in the LPL Summer for 2019, and no team undefeated anymore. Everything up for grabs.
Yeah, and I talked about BLG ending up winning that series versus Team WE, which gives them that 2-series gap ahead of, you know, Victory 5, sadly our playoff finalists in JD,
yep.
Rogue Warriors, Team W. Like, all those teams are now going to be having a tougher spot simply because it's harder to be able to reach that 8th place border.
It's just incredible that we have 3 playoff teams sitting below 8th right now, sitting below that bubble, and a team like Dominus in severe trouble coming into the rest of the split.
You say trouble, I'm looking as the ref and I'm saying, oh my god, I'm counting them out.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem very good for the team, but the teams playing today, I have high hopes for. FPX, LNG, and Top Esports are all incredibly strong teams right now.
OMG in similar position. Dominus, of course, but FPX just need another win under the belt. Remember, the magic number in spring was 10, and FPX are getting dangerously close to that. Of course, you mentioned LNG and Top Esports. Now, that's a great matchup for LNG because this is a start of things to come. I allude to the matchup coming up on the weekend, Raz, and we've got another match of the week.
Let's go!
With LNG in it once again.
Karsa versus SOFM, jungles clashing. And whenever SOFM and Spring Split, hell, even last year, was going up against another great jungle talent, it would feel bad because he would look around, you know, to his mid lane. He would have to essentially extinguish fires. This time around, he has great talent amongst them.
Fire. Good fire.
That's actually good. I think good fire. He's that blue fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's not really good fire. But at the end of the day, being able to watch that match of the week will be later on, of course, in the week. That's going to be real fun to be able to catch.
LNG warming up later, as you mentioned there. But we're going to start with FPX going up against OMG. And big focus on FPX here because they're the team that, as of recently, lost to IG, but it was a great series.
Went to 3 games, went to the, like, if essentially IG had to play at their best. I was worried about Invictus Gaming. I even counted them out simply because, you know, the series before that were poor from them.
Yeah.
They were performing individually awful, like specifically like getting solo killed in lane. Rookie was, you know, the Shy was okay. Actually, the Shy coming in, back from Rift Rivals was playing better and better. But you're right, when it came to that series, they played up. We got to see a great playoff preview in my mind. In my eyes, both these teams are final hopeful. Like, you expect both these teams to be performing as well to be able to get to the damn finals.
I know a lot of you out there after the game looking back in the chat, everyone's saying that this could be the finals. And that's right, FPX right now sitting at 8-1. And for IG, that's a good title to hold because only 3 teams have been able to take games off of FPX in summer.
Yeah, sadly, LGD was one of them. Yeah, those are tough games randomly. Victory 5 and LGD really put up a fight. But generally speaking, FPX is an incredibly consistent squad.
Yep.
And being able to see them coming in from Spring Split, where they got that 3rd place run, and very sad that they ended up losing in the fashion that they did versus JD, because if we're just talking about playoffs, again, you always have to have that in the back of your mind that they should have been that team in Game 4, being able to move on to the playoff finals versus Invictus Gaming. They're going to be a team that has that in the back of their minds at all times to be able to be as consistent as possible, so when they go back to that point, not only are they going to be, as you would expect if they're at 1st or 2nd seeding, be able to just lodge themselves into the semifinals. They just have to get the job done.
Yeah, there is some expectation for the high hopes once again. And want to be finalists here in spring. The opportunity's there again for summer because they're sitting as 1st seed. 8-1 as we mentioned there before. And FPX, look, the road is going to get tougher, but we still think that they're going to hit it hard.
Yeah, the fact that they're going up against EDG, LNG, and with recent performance, Suning is looking great.
Yeah.
In fact, it's going to be fun to be able to watch the Suning set because SMLZ is playing out of his mind at this moment in time, and that's going to be SMLZ versus Doinb, former Rogue Warriors pairs on that one, so they played alongside each other, so being able to see them both playing up going into that series, I think we're going to have a fun.
And if we're talking about consistency, just to travel back a little bit, remember that FPX, the likes of Doinb, hasn't made that trip to Worlds. It's always been the want, I know, of Chinese fans, English fans alike. This could be the split that FPX are able to travel and maybe make the journey for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they need to be able to get the job done at the final hurdle.
Yes.
And that's always my criticism towards like Doinb and the teams that he's been on. When he was on Rogue Warriors, they were that end boss in the Gauntlet finals. Didn't get it done. EDG ends up getting that ticket to Worlds. And so for Doinb, who has that fresh in his mind, that road is going to be important because sticking the landing is literally the only thing that he hasn't been able to do.
Yes.
Everything has been phenomenal. The regular season has been consistently strong for the man. He's been MVP of the splits numerous times. And so he did it on Chagu Reapers, and then the playoffs happened and just got bumped out immediately.
Yep.
And Rogue Warriors, we all know the story. We just explained it. And now for FPX, he wants to be able to make a different case, come out in a different fork in the road. And I think for him, like, I mean, we have to see in the next upcoming weeks. But I think they're making treks, especially seeing different things in these games.
Yep.
Just kind of getting to the nitty-gritty for him, we've been seeing a lot more focus on the vision control, something that throughout his history has actually just kind of been a little bit more
A lot of
bare.
criticism in spring that we threw out for that
So
as well.
it's been a lot better this time around, and I think that a lot of it has to do with Tian and Crisp. So definitely the tools that they have in this team has been strong.
I love the 2v2 when you talk about FPX. Of course, just a quick mention over to OMG, because I know we're going into lineups very shortly, that for OMG, it's a similar situation to Dominance. You put them to the side and you say, well, what happens next? Where do they go? Because FPX is such a dominant team that you got to look at the flip side, and OMG, the exact opposite.
So the fun thing about this is at least Dominus had an identity. So that team had a team fight ID, and their problems were just flat out laning. The problem with OMG is that they really need to find that since losing SMLZ. In front of your face, of course, you're going to be seeing FPX get introduced to the Chengdu arena. Nothing's changed here, so it's going to be GimGoon in the top lane, Tian in the jungle, Doinb in the mid lane, and the bottom side of the map, Lwx and Crisp. But we all know where the Chengdu squad of OMG, where they're at.
Yeah,
they're always in the same place.
In the crowd.
We just need to see them. Pan the camera over, please.
Give it 5. Because for FPX, it'll be a good challenge. For the side of OMG, of course. The top squad going up against them, and there they are. Let's go into it, into the crowd. Yes, full claps, okay.
They had a change in music. It's good reason for that one. Because at the end of the day, OMG are seen as the rock stars.
Yes.
Like bad boys, all that. A lot of it has to do with the player you have right in front of your face. Exactly. Icon comes through with a lot of swagger. And I think he's been playing really well so far. But let's get down to the lineups. Curse in the top lane. World 6 is going to be playing in the jungle.
Yep.
Icon in the mid lane. And the bot side of the map, we're seeing Crystal and Hudie this time
Once
around.
again, we actually haven't seen them in a while. It has been Chelly going into support. It has been Kane playing the majority of games to split for OMG.
Yes, and so I've been appreciating both sides of the coin. I think both dual lanes have been working out well.
Yep.
I prefer Hudie as a support. I always will. I think the AD carry is going to be a difficult one because Crystal, especially on when he was on LNG, I mean, what he provided for the team was always that level of veteranship. Like he did well in lane for the most part. And then outside of lane was a strong team fighter. So we'll have to see what he's been able to learn and what he's been trying to accomplish. You know, since we haven't seen him, since the last time we saw him.
I mean, fun fact for you all out there, he's the only person to have picked up Draven so far in the summer split. And
He's a Draven player.
Yeah, he's a big Draven player. That's what my takeaway is here, that these niche picks are going to make or break, you know, at least a game for OMG against FPX. And it's hard to sell them, because at this point, as you mentioned with FPX, it's all about that consistency, which hasn't seemed to let up so far.
Yeah, I would say for FPX, you're right about the fact that that consistency is really on point. Sadly for OMG, you could say the same thing. For OMG, you know, getting down to that discussion because they're always coming back into the Chengdu venue. The fans are always there. You see the filled up crowd. A lot of the fact, one thing I'm always surprised about is OMG, since losing SMLZ, they haven't been playing well.
Yep.
And naturally, you would expect the fans to diminish for the organization, that it would be like every single time they'd be going up against, let's say, this case, going up against FPX, you think it'd be an FPX-dominated audience. Not the case usually. It's actually like a bit half and half, but
very
a
loyal,
lot more OMG fans. You're right, very loyal because they're fans of the players. The players themselves, specifically Icon, has a huge brand and fandom around them. And so I think it's nice to be able to see that for this team and specifically for Icon. He's been a consistent force this split. We've been generally happy with the play that he's had.
Yep.
The one thing I did make a mention of is the fact that I like still being able to see Guoguo, because when we saw Guoguo that one time, I mean, the team started to play through, Yihan.
Yep.
They started to play through jungle a lot more, and I just wanted to be able to see essentially an identity being etched out, a far more subtle and smarter ID, because when before that, with all the junglers that essentially come through with the very same playstyle of brute force through mid.
It has to be Icon, yeah.
And I'm okay with it has to be X person. There are a lot of teams. In fact, they're going up against the team that has very much a mid lane mentality. But Tian is a smart enough jungler, and Doinb is a smart enough player and recognizes the way he's able to get out of lane, play it patiently. But OMG has always been a very impatient team. So I think that's something we'll have to see if they were able to grow upon. I think that with Guoguo, they were able to showcase that even with the losses.
Yep.
I think having that shift is able to be a good challenge within the team. And now that Icon's back and is able to come at the same level of performance, we should see a good competition. That's what I'm expecting. It should still, in my mind, be what I see to be, a cleaner 2-0 victory for FPX.
Of course.
But from OMG, I want to see glimmers. I want to see spotlights. I want to see moments in which you see that growth coming through.
Because there's a reason you bring in Crystal Hudie. You bring in a bottom lane that has been together for a while, and the likes of Snake and to challenge Lwx and Chris, who have been playing for lane recently, Raz. We've been playing that Caitlyn Lux.
Look, I'm going to be honest. A lot of the times we don't have eyes on why certain players are coming in.
Of course.
And so with the current level of success, in my eyes, that we've been seeing from specifically Kane has been having good individual performances in team fights. Bringing Crystal back in means that something must have happened in practice. The fact that he's leveled up, it would happen. Something that I've always been impressed with Crystal as a player is when he came into the LPL, people would have expected him to have a wall, that he's hit his ceiling at a certain level. But he actually got, in my mind, better as a player, because he started making less mistakes in rotation. He's getting picked off a lot less. His team fights have gotten a lot better, and his laning phase is not as vulnerable. And so those are instances where I'd say, wow, he got better as a player. And so perhaps there was that, while not being able to see stage time, that's something we didn't get to see. That's what makes this match a little funner from the OMG perspective.
Yeah.
What do we have to see in the bot lane?
Well, we can make it even more funner by having a quick listen to Panda, the coach of OMG, and what he has to say about today's upcoming matchup.
对上 FunPlus 是一个支援速度比较快，打架能力比较强，然后中野带节奏能力是 LPL 顶尖的一个队伍，所以我们在面对他们的时候，需要加强中野的应对。
Dealing with that mid jungle, Raz.
Yep.
Wise words. I mean, it's a must. Everyone needs to face FPX starting there.
And I just want to hear from him, because at the end of the day, that's what OMG is trying to achieve themselves coming into this split.
Yeah.
To be able to play through Icon, to be able to have that same level of synergy. Last time we saw World 6, I'm just talking about last, 2016, 2017. He was a player that, great facilitator, a big risk taker. I would still want to see that level from World 6 where he is that early game bridge that can get Icon rolling. We'll see. We're in game 1 pick and ban.
Still 9-13 as well. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Mordekaiser is disabled globally, so we will not be seeing that here today in the LPL.
Yeah, they said there was a multitude of issues regarding his ultimate. Surprise, surprise. We all knew that was going to come into case. That ultimate is new and absurd. So
there's so many interactions, so
exactly.
Props to the right team for dealing with that. So it's rough, but remember, someone like Curse, it wasn't in his champion wheelhouse anyway. We'll see what he goes towards. He's been a carry top laner here, and for OMG, they're getting some of those banned against them. The Aurelia, the Jace already taken away.
Lux and Tahm Kench is up and available. I would
Yep.
think Hudie would be the Tahm Kench type, so I want to be able to see what OMG prioritizes on this one.
Remember as well that for Crispy, he's played nothing but Lux Yumi, so something will fit into that wheelhouse. Just depends what OMG want to take away first.
I mean, a lot of people end up talking about the mid lane matchups being that Azir Corki handshake. I think the support position has been a lot more linear. There's not been much changes at all. And to be fair, people have been conditioned to seeing, what, Braum versus Galio for about a year now?
Yep.
So if that's the case, I mean, not much has changed there. So let's just say if it goes by the book, FPX would be picking Tahm Kench. But I want to be able to see if they have to go about it immediately, because at the end of the day, they can still be picking it up. They just have to have it on the first phase before second rotation of bans.
And also getting a champion like this for Tian is going to be a big priority. The champion that ended up wrecking FPX in Game 3 against Invictus Gaming. So bringing that back into fruition to start off this series.
Yeah, Olaf is always just fun to watch and track in any game. the end of the day, he has this such great skirmish from Cathedral. He should always have at least a great mid lane shove so he can attract attention, move towards Raptors, be able to clear that out. I'm talking about enemy Raptors on
Raptors, yeah.
Enemy Raptors to be able to get experience advantage. If he falls behind, it's going to be messy. I think FPX has been great around Tian, so there should be a Tian performance.
Also opens up the window towards bottom side as well. Lwx picking up his Lucian, and it's ironic that he'll be going up against the Caitlyn Lux lane, the lane that they have played religiously in the past couple of series.
Yeah, they really love the range and just essentially the constant traps that the Lux Caitlyn provides for you. I think they've been over-prioritizing that whenever Sivir and Yumi's available.
Yep.
Not going to be the case with Yumi being banned, of course. So it's nice to be able to see them go towards the Lucian. I wonder if now this is where the question comes in. Is it the Tom Kench? Is it oh, there we go.
It's a Pyke instead. Not what we were expecting, but most likely that's going to Chris.
But you got to love it, right? Chris, as a player, has always been able to get himself in towards, like, I don't want to say, yeah, out of the general meta and comfort zone. He's the type of person, when we saw him at Rift Rivals, went towards the Alistar when it hasn't just been touched.
Yeah.
Like, that was his answer. He's been a great Alistar player in general, and he generally wants to be able to see what he can do to help the team. Pyke's going to be able to accomplish a lot for them, especially being able to penetrate the shield that Lux provides, a pretty thick one at that.
Yeah.
And so I want to see how he ends up operating the champion in lane.
Really matches that kill threat that's been set up there from OMG. Not range, but the gap close available. Like this from FPX, the creativity we always talk up. Now banning some of that creativity. What they see from World 6 is 2 jungles need to go.
Oh, Kindred ban. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Not only is it a good matchup into the Olaf, but it would make life difficult for the Pyke, so it would just be a straight counter. And World 6 has been practicing that one, so it's nice to be able to see that ban come through. The Ryze, I love at least on first phase because Curse can play it, and so you end up wanting to throw it up top side if you get a good enough matchup. I want to see what OMG can see for themselves.
Also, Icon's played this many, many times as well, so the power to play between flexes against FPX has always been a strong one for teams. And Orianna getting banned away now. This is interesting, because that's a big priority on a second ban.
Well, I mean, Doinb has just been playing Orianna. Glacial Augment Orianna. It's been working out well for him, and it's been also supporting Lwx throughout the mid game, giving him a lot of movement speed, essentially always having great ultimates. You can set up your own ultimate with the slow that the Glacial Augment provides, which is a great combo to see in the previous games that we've been watching it. Viktor pick.
Alrighty, this is just a different champ select for FPX.
Well, we still don't know where it's going. That's the beauty about FPX pick ban on red side. Incredibly successful because I think Viktor is a great pick into the Ryze. And so if the Ryze is going top lane, expect it to follow it.
We get to see the core of why FPX have such a high win rate on this side of the map. And
well, they just have a high win rate in the league.
In general, I guess.
They're 8-1.
Well, they do prioritize the red side as well.
Yes,
so
they love red side.
That compounds, yeah.
So we'll have to see what we end up getting here. This is when we see the full composition coming in from OMG. My expectation is that they want to at least get priority through mid lane. Having Ryze, put him up to the top side.
Yep. I
would say Azir is up and available. I would love to see the Azir pick. I think it works out well for the team, but a Vladimir hover.
And that could be dangerous. Saw the Shy Destroyer on that. Where is it going, though? Most likely towards the top side.
All right. Still don't know where the Vladimir is going to be going, but you would expect it to be up in the top lane. You're right.
Yep.
We've just seen how active Vladimir can get when he gets to his core build, gets into the late game. Team fight's going to be a primary focus from OMG. The only concern I would have would be the split between AP and AD. It's a lot of focus on how Caitlyn ends up balancing that one out.
Yep.
So that's just going to be my focus coming into the late game, but locks him in. That's going to be a Neeko coming in through mid.
Okay, Doinb, welcome back. Another champion he's picked up, but where is still a question mark, because they've just swapped it around, Ryze, and
no matter what, FPX just has good solo lanes early.
Yeah.
No matter where the Viktor goes, he should be able to deal with both the Vladimir and the Ryze. So I think FPX have picked great solo lanes here. And through bot side, if I'm FPX, I'm happy. If the Caitlyn and Lux gets a good trap on somebody and they get dominance over the lane and start shoving in, the Olaf has a long lane to run through. So Tian's going to be perking his ears up just for this bot lane skirmish. We're going to be seeing 6 teleports as per usual.
Of course. We're back to teleport meta.
But if we're going to be seeing any skirmishes happening through bot side, the Caitlyn's going to be the first one to worry about it.
Yep.
So that's what we're going to have to be talking about. focusing on. Coach Panda made a point about great shot calling from FPX's end and how quick they're able to essentially gather around certain units. And so that's something that we're going to be having to see from OMG, a good challenge to OMG. If there's TPs being challenged to the bot side of the map, how quick is OMG to respond to that? A lot of those questions in my mind ring through because whenever OMG gets leads, my issue is that they lose it far too quickly, not responding across the map. Like Curse wouldn't be in tune with a quick teleport to be able to support units. Same thing happening with Icon. A lot of the times, if they get leads, they still find themselves losing to them in like mid-game skirmishes. So I want to see that get cleaned up.
I also want to see the fact that you mentioned Tian going towards the bot side, how quickly that happens. Because for FPX, within the first 10 minutes, they are one of the most active teams in the LPL. Tian makes his way bot with Doinb, and it's not going to be hard this game. Doinb taking the Viktor into the mid lane, lots of early shove available. And as we go into game one, a trial for OMG, but the bridge I mentioned before is set up for FPX to walk across it and continue towards that dominance in the LPL summer.
All right.
Well, there was still support for OMG, but at Ryze, I'm surprised. I mean, FPX out in force. Chengdu crowd, of course, growing. It's what happens when you get first in spring and you're heading towards the same trajectory coming into summer. Big expectations on FPX, and that's why we placed them on this game, because the challenges towards OMG, FPX just have to keep playing that consistent style.
Yeah, and fan interaction through Weibo, you always get surprised just a little bit. If you have that one strong split, of course, fans just come out in droves.
Yeah.
Being able to see fan votes on Weibo a little bit, be able to see I think FPX are at 4th or 5th place right now, battling it up with Team WE.
Yep.
That kind of thing really gets you interested in the future of the team and the organization. If they can keep on to doing, if they continue to be successful, they can be that team. All it really takes is, the earlier discussion of being able to make an international that pushes your brand a little bit further. But this is going to be a fun game. Just for people that don't know out there, today is Tian's birthday.
Happy birthday, Tian.
So I want to see if he can continue to be successful. He was one of our MVP nominees of Spring Sport. Third place in votes. First place was Doinb, so of course he got MVP of Spring. Second place was Knight, and third place, with how strong of a performance he had throughout the split, Tian was able to accomplish that.
I know he's in heavy contention and talks between Kasa, Ning, and Tian was right up there as top 3 junglers in the league. So
a lot of the times, whenever you have top 3 discussions, especially when you're with a player who is just that strong as well, right? It's the common discussion throughout the scene is, hey, you know what? Is every player on this team that good, or is it because obviously they're already successful, and so they're always having the stats in their favor? In this case, there are moments, many games in which Doinb was kept underneath turret. They're in LPL Spring when RNG and those IG sets were, Doinb couldn't move. And it was up to Tian to be able to accomplish those ganks through side lanes. And I felt like he was always in the right place in the right times. His counter ganks were on point. The fact that he was able to be smart enough to be able to get those leads outside of Doinb, outside of the mid lane matchup, goes to show that they can play through many styles. It's just a preference to be able to play through mid.
And the ability to lean on each other is necessary as well, which is important. For those wondering, Chris will be the point of view stream down the bottom side, and he's picking up the Pyke in this game number 1. Now, I didn't expect this one, but of course, the ingenious pick down the bottom side helps Lwx, and they're getting shoved under turret, but we're going to wait and see until he gets towards roaming. A lot of the changes that came through Pyke, I think, still supports him as a support in the bot side of the map.
Yep. One good change I loved was the movement speed boost that you were able to get to your W. So the fact that you could, Crisp as a player who oftentimes roams through mid, finds himself being able to get picks on anyone who's opposing Doinb, works out well for him. Oh, nice cancellation.
Yep.
Gonna have to stick around in lane a little bit longer. Hold on to the mana crystal. He won't be able to get it just yet.
Has teleport available. World 6 moving to the bottom lane. This is what draws my attention because he hasn't been spotted out yet.
So the problem here, I don't think you're ever going to get the kill on the Crisp, and it's going to be Caitlyn and you know, Lux naturally shoving in the lane. I think he's just tier 4 counter gank opportunities. So good from World 6. Already knows that he's just going to be here just in case. That was the one fear that I had, was that this was going to be happening. The shove is going to be coming through on to Lwx and Crisp, and that it just allows for a longer lane for Tian to come through and get the game.
And look at the warding as well. Tribrush not spotted out. This is an inkling from OMG, nothing more.
It's a slow push coming in from Lwx and Crisp, but I don't know how patient Crystal and Hudie are going to be.
Pyke goes invisible, looking for the hook. Crystal's there, might have to burn a flash. He nets away. The stun coming through from Chris doesn't land. They turn for the counter engage. They get the ignite. Flash burnt by the support. OMG in the 2v3, not looking too bad.
All right, that hurts. Chris will be able to heal up, but certainly Crystal and Hudie can now shove this lane up, knowing that Tian is not going to make that trip back. Oh, World 6 is in position.
And Icon teleported back to lane with the Dark Seal. He's there too.
They got the squad.
4 versus 3. How does this work though? Tian's going to pick up. Now move away. That's what he needs to do, but flag drag late on the reaction. He flashes over. Yeah, they follow. They follow for first blood.
They can't have too long of a skirmish. Remember, Curse doesn't have teleport. Teleport advantage is there from FPX. They're in and out. Great job from OMG. You don't get to see that a lot of times.
Yeah.
Usually they're very static within their own lanes, don't end up moving outside of it. But this time around, World 6 and Icon found that opportunity.
Great heads up, as you mentioned there. So first blood also going to Icon. And when this team has been so much about the mid laner, getting him ahead usually nets a great result.
Yeah, we just need to be able to see more coming through from the mid lane. That was the intent a lot of the times through OMG's games, but the execution always falls short from reality. So, you know, you just want to be able to see Icon and World 6 get going in the early portion of the game and still have to play through the meta. Like, a lot of the times when they find success early, it's because, you know, Icon's picked up the LeBlanc or the Cassiopeia.
Ooh, Chaos Storm in the mid lane. That's pretty much it. But you're right, on the note of champion pool as well, it's been a back and forth. Of course, Icon on new Ryze this game around. I mentioned he picked up the tier before. He's just hit level 6, so maximum distance of Realm Warp now available.
Yeah, and I just want to see how, you know, Ryze operates. You don't get a lot of time to be able to see him. In fact, last Ryze that I ended up seeing play was Doinb.
Yeah.
Doinb did play Ryze too. Rod of Ages is being picked up a lot more often. The only concern is ever going to be the fact that Ryze lost his shield. So being on side lanes and skirmishing is never going to be that as clean as it once was. There's always that level of uncertainty if you go in and take too much damage right from the get-go.
One more wave clear now, though, as well in the early portions. Realm comes out. The gravity got him. Stops him. The field of death, it'll be called, as Icon running for his life. But look, Crisp is here. He roams. He loves it. Thank you for the undertow. Blast cone as well. That's perfect from FPX.
Great timing. I mean, it was Lux and the Caitlyn that were coming back into the lane, gave an opportunity for Crisp to roam out. So it wasn't just Doinb going in for a 1v1. Didn't have the mana to complete it either. Just knew that he could rely on Chris and Tian coming on over and picking up the kill.
Very much like Chris, the rush in mobility boots here in this game before even going to the Targon's brace. That's what the Pyke wanted to do. Secures the kill. Now looking to secure the Infernal Dragon with a bottom lane that should be there. A 3v3 set up here, but FPX have the Dragon pulled out.
That should be it.
Oh, looking for the steal though. World 6 goes on in now. Is this the wrong call? Ragnarok popped here, culling into the World 6. FPX get the pick off, and Hudie flashing away. That's a trap down. FPX almost lose their support, but the steal doesn't work out, and World 6 pays for it.
Remember, the first blood that OMG had costed them 2 flashes. Icon lost his flash, World 6 lost his flash, and they both died for that when, you know, the Undertow came through and was able to pick up Icon, and World 6 all in for the Dragon. They didn't even end up picking it up, so now we're going to have to deal with a possible second Infernal for FPX.
Yeah.
Well, now World 6 and Icon are suffering for it.
And look, we've seen Olaf here in the LPL on a different note. Run away with games. Tian's set up to do so. 2-1-0 as a CS lead. And he's going to be having Warriors next time he backs away. It's not a bad way to go. When you think about Olaf here in the LPL, of course, the aggressive style that we've seen in the past. No more of that Cinder Hulk. It's always going to be Warriors, so World 6 in a difficult position, being a level down as we look towards the bottom side. Great hook line and sinker onto Hudie. Death from below. Give the gold over to Tian, and this is not good. The strength of the lane for OMG falling behind.
I mean, this entire comp that FPX has set up is real fun to watch because it's essentially now a tag team between Tian and Chris to find picks. They're just relentless. Remember, Crystal doesn't have flash either.
Yep.
They're in great range for another dive. Crystal knows it. he's going to have to play as safe as he possibly can.
With Lucian up in CS in this lane, and surely he's going to be getting some of the kills of his own. Now, good from Lwx here to pick up the top side, but even GimGoon denying away one of the camps. It's going to be a red steal, but at this point, not worth enough for OMG.
And what can they trade back? That's always my concern.
Yeah.
If Lwx tries to go top side, I mean, it's going to be GimGoon full clearing the wave. That's an issue.
Yeah.
GimGoon recognizes the troubles that he's in currently, and he's going to play well to it. He's going to try for Doinb. It's going to be a issue. We'll see. I mean, Olaf is in the... Oh, my God. That's the pair.
Yeah.
It's the duo.
Crisp is coming in red hot. Doesn't dodge away from the binding flag. Drag. Locked down. Crisp is dead, but Birthday Boy wants in on some of the action. Cake not yet cut.
All right. The fact that they were able to find that, they weren't expecting it. I was expecting some resistance, but the fact that Pyke ended up going into the bush, thinking that it was all clear, the coast was flying, ends up getting cut down for it.
Now the kill goes over to Icon as well. So slowly but surely, Icon is becoming the win condition of this side of OMG. Despite being behind 1,500 gold, you can assure yourself that the gold is on Icon.
So let's talk about what OMG wants to accomplish if they were able to get out of lane scot-free. Because if we're just looking at the compositions, sure, there's great team fighting involved, but I want to be able to see like Vladimir and Ryze pick up that solo lane, and they will, early side lanes, have their 1-3-1. They should be able to do quite well versus GimGoon. And if they can bully that one, I'm not too sure about the Viktor. I think Viktor should be doing quite well versus Icon, but
I agree.
Take a look at this. We still have to be concerned for Crystal in lane here if it gets dove.
I mean, can OMG get to that point, Raz? Crystal's bone skewered in once again, half health. FPX underneath the turret, taking some turret plating of their own, and Lwx now has to be fearsome with the 1v1.
Yeah, let's take a look at this one. Lwx.
It's just the threat of the undertow from Tian. Again, he can walk wherever he pleases. Look at the deep vision from FPX. OMG can't get near.
This is just annoying to deal with.
Yeah.
And it was a good challenge from you because at the end of the day, while OMG knows what they're trying to accomplish in the mid game, can they even get to that point is always going to be the question. Teleport's up and available for Doinb, so he can join. Just kidding. He's just teleported into the mid lane. I would have loved him to just hold on to it. I don't think he needs to use it at all.
Like some of the plays we saw against Invictus Gaming, where Doinb, great teleporting timers, getting down to the bottom side and accelerating it further.
Okay, so he just wants to run over the lane.
Well, it might work out. That's a flash onto Crystal. Gets the stun down and the bone skewer.
Wow.
Crisp again. Execution flawless.
All right, almost dies there, but this is just tough to watch if you're an OMG fan. What can you do? They're just getting outright bullied down bot side.
You can hope and pray that something happens in this solo lane, but even Curse. The solo kill on the GimGoon. Does he have the damage just yet? There's no full build. GimGoon here. Still a bit squishy though as Icon's coming up, and this is going to be a kill, but is there a trade-off? Pop Blossom down. Curse dodges away. 3-for-1 on Icon, and okay, solo lanes, it's up to you.
Yeah, at least we're getting something back from OMG's side. I was a little bit concerned. You know, I was singing the praises of GimGoon, just thinking that he was going to be playing it as respectfully as possible. I think he was just trying to shove out the wave.
Yeah.
But just to take a look at this, we were talking about Doinb making the rotation. He wasn't even needed. Just the insurance policy if anything goes wrong, but the execution was real down packed coming in from Crisp.
The bottom lane continues to scale up, push themselves forward. That's the first item here for Lwx, and Crisp has himself some lethality, so this Pyke ain't mucking around as he heads towards the top side. Remember, double Infernal available here. We look at FPX and what they want to achieve, and maybe it's towards the bottom side. Lwx now has to 1v2, but Icon even backing away. Acing the whole use on the 80 carry. GimGoon comes down to party.
All right, we're fully committing to this.
Oh, that is a flash onto Hudie. They're locked down because FPX as a unit are coming down. Chris gets caught out in the middle. He's early on the engage once again as Doinb locked down with the Cataclysm. Flashes over the wall. Curse TP's in as well.
All right, I don't think FPX...
Oh, but look at Tian Raz. Look at Tian Ragnarok into the undertow. It's the flank of a lifetime, and OMG walk into it whole-handedly. Lwx just got his flash up. He uses it to escape.
I was concerned when Chris blew himself up to start the fight, but such great flanking on that one. I didn't even see how he got in that position, but at the end of the day, not only did they pick up multiple kills, got themselves the second Infernal, FPX are in a position where I don't know how they end up throwing this. I don't think it's possible.
3-1-3. And Tian today, he's feeling as young as ever. As GimGoon might actually find Curse here. Lockdown with the Tangle Barbs. You send out a bit of Starburst once again. And FPX move to the Herald. They're getting everything, every objective under the sun.
Yeah. If you're OMG, you're a little bit concerned.
Yeah.
I think Icon was playing well under the circumstances. The fact that he went topside, got the kill on GimGoon when they were essentially bleeding out bot lane. And then in that team fight, I mean, the initial pickup on Chris was great.
Yeah.
And they were still trying to get out. I thought they were in a great position. Just didn't have eyes over the terrain. So let's just take a look at this.
Happened, yeah.
They end up picking up quite a bit on this one. And here's where the questions come into play. Crisp is in view. They just fully went on to him. Great dodge from Icon to start the fight. And then, while they trade away, go up top. You know, head towards the mid lane, get the shove. They have a wave in which they can push, but instantly gets on top of Crystal and eviscerates him. You don't have your 80 carry to start the fight.
That was magnificent. World 6 flashes out in the end and just survives, but the double elemental we talked about is there, secured for FPX. And in the replay, even more gold went over as Lwx solo picked up yet another turret. This Lucian, 30 CS up and many more gold over Crystal.
Yeah, because if you look at the gold lead, it's humongous for a 15-minute game right now. That's when you start looking at how the items are starting to come through, and Olaf is packing, got his black cleaver now. Look towards the Lucian, and he's huge, and a lot of it comes down through that turret plating. He was able to pick up 400. 1,280 gold from just the turret plates alone. And that's just a pick and ban type of deal. The only one that was actually flourishing in lane was Crystal and Hudie, while it was Curse, Icon, that was always playing back, and a bad jungle matchup was there for World 6 as well.
Comes down to what we know and love about FPX, right? The style of this team and how they play around not only solo lanes, but now this bottom lane, which we're seeing flourish more than ever in the summer.
Especially if the champions right now, if your top teams are just strong in solo lanes, you need to be able to match that. A lot of the times, teams like OMG are trying to put in as much as they can. They had Ale in Spring Split, now they have Curse in the Summer Split. They're just trying to have strong individual talent, and that's why when we talk about individual talent, they have it. Icon, World 6, and Curse are all strong players. Crystal has proven himself in previous teams on Snake. Hudie, we've always called him like a stellar support.
Yes.
So the talent is there's the coordination that needs to be able to be a lot stronger. I like the early game ideas from Icon in World 6. It's just the smaller points. Whenever you look through the game in a fine-tooth comb about essentially your positioning when you don't have flash, communication between your bottom lane when Crystal and Hudie are back at base and they know that Crisp with the Pyke is out there. He could be looking for a pick, so you have to be out, if you don't have the wards, play it as safely as possible on that one. But they found, or at least they got picked off kind of randomly in the early portion of the game for it.
And now it's just about recovery here with the side of OMG at the very least. Looking towards FPX, and I'm counting those items as I see it, because Essence Reaver now just picked up for Lwx, who is level 11 over Crystal's level 9. So the comparison's always going to be there. And FPX, with their bottom lane in tow, are heading towards that same lane.
All right, let's see what we end up getting from this one. I don't think OMG can do too much to contest for this.
I mean, FPX might be backing away. That's the smite secured. And they come close, but World 6 is just slowly losing out as well.
Yeah, FPX could just slow it down with GimGoon rotating over to the lane. So they had a lot of people and a lot of power there. Yeah. One thing I want to make a point of, I don't think people should be too harsh on Crystal as a player in this game, because we talked about it. That was my concern to begin with, was that Tian was going to run roughshot in this lane.
No.
Is he dead? Wow.
Okay. 2-item Lucian does that. That was too much. That was just ridiculous.
I need my shield back.
I mean, this is why we're talking about the acceleration of Lwx.
Give Ryze his shield back.
Yeah, that's true. 4 and 3. I mean, Icon was the most fed member here on this team. Definitely doesn't feel like it when you look at that.
That was tough, especially with the red buff burning on top of your head.
So Lwx has freedom of lane after that. You know, picks up yet another kill. I mentioned the 2 items there before. Well, he's got null magic resist in his inventory. He's still got the Doran shield. That's when you know the game's so comfortable. You don't have to worry about selling it for wards or, you know, filling the spot.
Yeah, you already have. You have a slot open. It's not too much.
Yeah, fair
I think FPX. If we're just talking about what they need to be able to do to clean this one up, finish it up cleanly.
Yep.
Sure, clean up the dragon, take it up. 2 minutes until Baron comes up, so they need to be able to go a little bit deeper into the enemy blue side jungle. That just means pushing up mid and top lane, making it easy for themselves. I still think they need one more back off because they don't have too many control wards amongst the cast. And so that work out for themselves. Base, get back in mid and top lane, have GimGoon on the bot side, and just essentially work for it. OMG is a tougher call, of course. They're a team that needs to start making it harder for FPX to think about cleaning up side lanes, because I would send Icon bot lane after this wave here, so he can full clear out wave, make it harder for GimGoon to ever rotate towards the team. Those are the things that you want to be able to see. Maybe look for a play. If you can get a kill on towards the Neeko, then fabulous, right? That's fantastic.
Yep.
You need to be finding that solo kill moment, or you need to be cheeky about which bush you hide into to get a gank on towards a member. They found multiple picks on Crisp, so kind of hope for something like that. They just need to start trying to be unpredictable, get the proper defensive control wards down there so they can get something.
You can see the idea of OMG right now is to sit in these lanes, pick up farm, but look at Icon again, same situation. Has to realm warp out as that was a couple of shots and Icon's at half health.
That's fine, at least he's out there with his own
That's
life.
true, at least he doesn't die again and give more resources.
And he got the damn turret in the top lane.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not asking for a lot.
He got a little. That's the main thing. Now, you wanted to see Icon go towards the bottom side. Well, Cursed is there now, but teleport available.
He still has some playmaking potential. He has Rune Prison that he could still look for if he, you still have to put in quite a bit of work, of course. You have to empower to be able to get the snare, but
oh my god.
Something that he can look for. But speaking of looking for, I mean, World 6 is going to be looking for his HP.
I mean, we haven't talked much about Doinb this game, but he's done his job. He's cleared out the mid wave. He's been there on the roam anyway. This is still a very big Viktor that's been comparable to the Ryze that had all the resources.
I'm going to talk about the Ryze a little bit now.
Go for it, Raz.
I'm not a big fan of Abyssal Mask.
Okay.
Abyssal Mask is not very efficient, especially for Ryze that needs to be right up and personal. At the end of the day, Banshee's Veil gives you more magic resist. Doesn't have the same amount of HP, but I still think Banshee's Veil is especially powerful going up against the Pyke.
That was an interesting ult from Hood. Yeah, he's just dead there with the culling. Now, I think he tried to auto-attack and pressed R at the same time, so he ulted backwards instead of on the Baron. At least FPX pull off, so he'll get a quick pass.
Yeah, this is a very tilting game for Hudie.
Yeah. I mean, the Lux Caitlyn lane, they wanted it to work. It was good in theory, and of course against FPX, there's Icon jumped on. Rather, it is the jungler now caught out as Chris gets the reset. The flag and drag, they kill him, and Lwx isn't happy while Curse comes in. This could be a turnaround, but my words have cursed me. You get the lockdown, the Tangle Barbs, and Blossom! That's one. Icon needs to die now as well. Lwx almost in with a relentless pursuit. That's all he needs. It's a full-blown ace after Hudie comes back alive.
And we're dealing with pretty large death timers too. That was 40 seconds on Icon, 19 on World 6. You can just go straight towards the Baron. It's going to be on Lux to try for a steal. Should have ultimate ready.
Has to aim it the right way.
Aim it in the correct direction and you might have a chance.
All right, go Hood. Yeah, this is up to you. 1 versus 3. There's going to be a teleport coming in from the side of Crystal. 2 versus 3. You're going to get a clone in the middle as well. That's ace in the hole. Slow down. Pyke is on his way. The Jarvan's not nearby. Lwx is turning on for the 1v1. Gets flashed on. That's the light binding, but he cleanses it immediately. Walks through it like it's a bit of butter on the ground. And FPX are just making OMG look bad.
Just an instant QSS. The fact that Lwx just walked right past it to be able to get the kill, he's huge at this stage.
Continues to be the highlight reel here for FPX. And now that everyone's back alive, you bet they're going to do it again and again.
I hope they do.
There's no other choice. The Baron is theirs from the beginning. And OMG sitting in the mid lane, they need to clear the wave. Maybe the mid turret is what you can take away, but not everyone from FPX has to be at the Baron.
Yeah, this one's going to be extra painful for OMG. They should, FPX should get the Baron for free. Yeah. I don't know how you're going to touch that World 6. You need to calm down before you end up losing yourself on
Let's
this.
flag and drag. Crisp is there and sends out the death from below as they jump on and do a great Hema Plague. That'll get 1 across the board. It's a 1-for-1 trade, which is so good for OMG, but now they need to get out. Realm Warp? Yes, just in time. OMG survived. And that's a good trade.
At least they get that kill on Doinb.
Yes.
Look, we asking for something. Please get out. Please get out. What do you think you were going to do?
Just nick him from the side.
With your T-Rex arms.
Give him the little barbecue poker, you know?
But yeah, I mean, look, we're asking for just a little bit. Waste some time so at least Caitlyn could get to her rapid fire camp.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking for. But yeah, this is going to be a difficult game for OMG only because they don't have too much long-range wave clear. Caitlyn is essentially going to be your type of stalling tactic with traps, can Q, I suppose. Speaking of Q, that was a nice pick coming in from Pyke to essentially just chase down the kill on Crystal.
Curse is trying his best. I mean, Curse is something we haven't talked about for good reason this game. That hasn't been about this Vladimir, but he's starting to net up some kills as well, so Take from that what you will.
I mean, they gave them an opportunity to go back to Baron, and then Vladimir ended up getting the kill on Doinb. So you're right. We don't get to talk about Curse this game too much because a lot of the action was the bot side of the map.
Yep.
But he's been playing this one well. He had a great laning phase. And on top of that, being able to convert that into team fights. Sure, the team fights are very hard for him, but he's picking up kills on that one. So he's very close to being able to get his Rabadon's death cap.
Yeah.
He has a lot of damage underneath him. The Kindle Gem and the other one's just being able to give him the CDR. So he still has a good amount of CDR to boot.
We've seen a lot of this build where you get the components of 2 items with the Proto Belt and, of course, the Deathfire. What's it called? Rabadon's Death Cap, excuse me. Been playing too much Mordekaiser. But at the moment, well, that's a Realm Warp taken. Where are you going? To the mid lane looking for the binding, which eventually lands onto GimGoon. But at least OMG now trying to be proactive.
Yeah, GimGoon didn't have to use his flash on that one. So they should be able to get a free tower here, FPX, just because of that one. It was a good cheeky try. You still need to see more of that from OMG to be able to get a pick and make it easier for themselves. This 1-4 isn't as successful, but they lost that opportunity. See if they draw the line of the sand here.
I remember you mentioning wave clear here. It is Crystal who's just walking up to the wave and trying to follow up afterwards. That's a trap almost that FPX walk into, but World6 runs away, gets low, and FPX, the siege continues. They're just going to move to the mid lane now.
Hey, good news. Crystal has rapid fire cannon.
Yep.
Bad news, he's level 12.
And needs to dodge away from that Bone Skewer. Half health from a bit of poke curse here. Locked under turret as well, but dodges away with the Sanguine pull, while OMG have to respond to FPX moving top, moving mid, bot, and going all between the lanes.
They should rotate towards this wave. They're doing it. So this wave is going to be what they're going to be crashing on just to be able to deke out the trap. So good luck trying to hold this turret up.
Okay. Icon fancies a walk forward. Lwx gets the turret, and FPX is just walking into the base.
Now they can be able to go right back bot lane, pick that turret up. They're completely ignoring the top lane wave. Don't need it. Now they have a super minion to work with in the mid lane.
I mean, if we get to another fight, FPX are going to end this game. That's what OMG are facing right now, is Icon walking forward into this lane. Still has to be careful. Chris, the Bone Skewer is what sets up this last fight, and he doesn't land it, so we go on, but Lwx into the back line with Culling. The Lucian goes rat-a-tat-tat, and Curse away.
Yeah, he has to leave, which means free turret here. They have a wave now to work with, and by the time OMG comes in to defend this thing, it's already over.
Oh, Crystal still here. Oh, the ghosts slow him down. They flash. Chris finds him. What did I tell you? Death from below. No. As FPX find one, but Curse coming in with the flank. The Vladimir hits his window, hits it well, gets ignited down. Doinb might die here as well.
What?
Curse with a flank. Icon with a cleanup. OMG revitalized.
Curse is a hero.
Yeah.
Has his items completed, and he's just starting to wreck them up. So sure, you still have mid inhibitor down, but now OMG has a chance. You're telling me they have a chance now?
Because that game was over. The way that play was going, Icon and Curse were up next, and FPX were towards them, but let's see where he came in from.
Simply put, they got too excited for the kill, and so Vladimir finds that flank, be able to get right into the back line, just as the Lux binding hits too. So pretty easy. He doesn't have to be too concerned about the return damage. Great job from both Hudie and Curse.
And they get mid lane turrets, so Curse from the back, Icon from the front. Solo lanes, the strength is there, and the resources now on them as well. I have to say, FPX, I don't want them to be haunted by another Vladimir.
Look, this game should still be fairly easy from FPX. They have a damn triple Infernal Dragon, and they don't have to concern about the whole traps coming into the inhibitor itself. The turret's down. They have the mid lane inhibitor already down. They're working alongside. The Baron's going to be coming up. If they get Baron buff, go straight towards the inhibitor in the bot lane. This should be an easy game. The minions will do the work for them.
Well, Baron's coming up in 40 seconds. And remember, that is triple Infernal here for FPX. It was easily done a couple of minutes ago. And now towards the Baron, I mean, 30 seconds, they can wait. If OMG approach, they will get picked.
Well, let me tell you how telling it is. This is very on brand for OMG.
Yeah.
The fact that the ones who are actually carrying this team for how long this game has gone on for, it's Icon and Curse. Their mid and top lane are doing it for
wow, that's a pop blossom in a 3-man. OMG walk into it! Oh, they have the time of their life. FPX are darn low as Doinb takes the Human Plague, but Curse, the only one alive after everything's said and done. That was a great ult from GimGoon, but OMG wanted to take it. Don't you agree, Brad?
What am I going to say after that? I just want that replay going back again and again. That's all I want to see.
You can see how proactive they were, what OMG wanted to do, but at the end of the day, when a Neeko has ultimate and you haven't seen it in a while, you forget. And that's okay. But FPX, this was just another telling story from them. Another telling story of the road, the bridge that's been set up for FPX moving forward. And a game one like no other.
You know what's funny?
Tell me.
So I remember Pablo Smithy mentioned a bad Tom Kench ultimate when it came through. He called it the Abysmal Void.
Yes.
That was just the whole ship. Essentially, you sent Noah's Ark straight down the road, and the entire animal species became extinct off that one. So I like the no, I didn't even like the idea. I like the gusto.
Yeah.
I love the gusto.
But unfortunate. That's very fair, Raz. Small dip there from OMG. That's all I'm going to mention. That was their window in the game. But apart from that, from minute one, it was owned by FPX.
But just before that play happened, which is very ironic, I wanted to talk about the fact that the game for OMG was very on brand for them. It was Icon and Curse that was stalling the game out, that was playing as well as they could.
Yep.
Multiple fights where they were able to play it out well, execution-wise. Multiple dodges on towards Chris when Chris was trying to get essentially a kill on them through his Pyke Q. So, I mean, coming up until that point, I really enjoyed it, and I felt like they could have contested more fights, stalled it out a little bit more, had potential towards the next Baron that was coming up, and it was the bottom lanes for OMG, and historically that has had issues. This time around, I ain't gonna blame them because that's just how the competition is essentially gonna work.
And that's also how FPX operate, right? Like in the past, run Tian down the bottom lane. What you said in Champs League with the longer lane, with the pushing bottom lane from OMG. Tian has access, and at level 4, he was down there.
There's never a good answer.
Yeah.
Because in the longer lane, you're screwed by the Olaf.
You're gonna get
in the
dove.
shorter lane, when you don't have any vision and you're getting suffocated, you're just going to get dove anyways. And so you just needed to see a response from World 6.
Yep.
And World 6 was too greedy after his first kill and ended up dying when he didn't have flash.
Yep.
A lot of the times, teams that, when they're about to lose the first Infernal Dragon, they're like, okay, that sucks. We weren't in position for it. That's on us. We won't give up too much. I won't flag drag for my own demise to be able to pick up that Infernal. It's not worth my life to be able to get that job done. I want to be able to stall the game out because the composition is going to be about my Caitlyn, Ryze, and Vladimir.
Right.
But the Caitlyn just didn't exist when you kind of sold her down the road, and I think that was the main thing. If I'm Crystal this game, I look back and I say, I feel like I did what I could.
Yeah.
But my score certainly doesn't reflect that, and I'm sweating for multiple reasons. So I don't want people to look at this. This was the same before a ridiculous play happened. I don't want people to blame Crystal for this game because he definitely got slammed and he had like 4 levels
in
disadvantage.
the same boat as well.
But they picked this lane and didn't support it.
Yeah.
You just need to be able to support it, especially with FPX constantly sending their forces down bot lane to camp them.
Yeah, because there was a early game portion where Tian was not shut down, but in his own jungle, that first blood from OMG, great, that's proactive.
Yes.
It's very calculated, but where are the follow-ups? Where's the return? How else can you track Tian in a situation like that?
No, in that case, actually, I just want them to be patient. Because when you use that many resources, double flash for that one kill, that's great. You have a kill, you can play through Ryze, but you still have to play safely because you have sums down through mid and jungle. They both played recklessly and both died
the
because
dragon,
of it.
the attempt to steal a dragon, I'm like, oh, flag drag with your flash out. Hang on a minute.
No, but that's the criticism there. So a lot of the times there are subtle points that people will miss, especially the individual players that are playing in the moment. So that sucks. They're still a best of 3. I want to see them play it better going into game 2 because I thought there were a lot of great ideas that they saw. There was real growth from OMG's side.
Yes.
While for FPX, it felt like business as usual.
Business as usual. Well said, Raz. Business as usual in game 2. Leave a question mark right there while we go to a break and head to it after this.
中路的话，也却刚好位置合适，直接选择封路来
但是
打
TP 了，类似这
凯
个位置。
南在背后吗？塔姆直接一辆车是空车开进去，我把闪现给你交了，身上还有个灰盾可以用。凯南交了一个闪现进场以后1-2，第3个人闪现逃走了，这个团队带来了2个人头，但双杀都是凯南自己拿下来的。
这边下路高地攻防战，高地塔的血量不是特别多，这兰博直接撒个大招撒的还不错。这里 FLICKR 血量不是特别好，而且没人保他，FLICKR 直接倒了。这一波铁男也是倒下，正面团战已经处于一个崩溃的状态，他们下路带兵线应该可以直接一波结束比赛了呀。到了，就这个情况就是两边如果真不想打，但是可以走。对。哎，拉一下拉到打低谷消化者法球，这里再过来。 闪现哇！闪现躲掉了一个大锤，哦 ，BOSS 完成了一波单杀。这波换其实还是可以接受的。哎，拉一下，这边拉到是一个塔姆，然后直接把塔姆给杀掉，塔姆被拉回来 ，Missing 开一个护盾，血量有点低，哎，被吃回来了。这里好像 ADD 反而有点危险，交给闪现 ，Missing 还没死，回头这里 ADD 好像不是特别好走了，而且旁边的维鲁斯已经被希亚娜给收掉一发 PA，Mistake 也是将这边的 A 收下。最后虽然说只剩一个人，伤害也很足，但是收不掉塔姆这一波，哔哩哔哩被打了一个团灭。
那现在凯南是把下路兵线给处理好了，来到正面。
哎，这里直接盯到猪妹，
猪妹已经被打残了，被塔姆吃掉。齐安娜这边进场先行秒掉维鲁斯，基野这波进场给维鲁斯打了一波互换，旁边铁男进场瞄准是一个塔姆，位置并不是很好，已经被塔姆舔红了，在屏幕的右侧，塔姆已经将其撵上，无情点手没能拉到。现在是大做了一个 pose 开出一个大招，再加一个 E 技能，这一次想强行进场，但是面对只是一个铁男，还是最后兰博先收掉铁男，后方有波追击制，他们开了一个白盾，双方需要拉扯一下阵型。寒冰9号输出位置非常不错，他万箭齐发，交出闪现，他还在输出，但是吃到了减速，恐怕有点走不了了。水银现在疯狂减，自己1v3还在不停拉扯，再次 W 带走能带走吗？并不可以，奥拉夫还在撵，还在输出，他还在战斗，但是没有办法，逃不过这个大锤。